Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. So recently we know that Kail Lowry, she got COVID. Her children got COVID. V got COVID. Javi got COVID. And it seems to have stemmed from Kail going on a vacation to the Dominican Republic. And when she come back, she had tested negative for COVID, but somehow the test was incorrect or something to that effect. She went out around people. She worked with V. She was around Javi, obviously her kids. And then everyone else seemed to get COVID. Now, Kail did say on a podcast that she and her kids got it from the Dominican Republic, that she believes they all kind of got it around the same time. And even though they tested negative when they came over here, the symptoms started, then they had a positive result. Now, one thing that a lot of people were questioning when I done my first video on this is, why didn't you quarantine? When you go on vacation and you come back, you should have been quarantining for those 14 days. Just to be sure, because I guess sometimes the COVID tests don't always show the results as quickly as they should, apparently. Now, according to Kail, she was tested. That she was tested like the day they got back, a few days later, and then it was like 4 days later or something to that effect that she finally tested positive. But at that point, she had already started getting some symptoms of COVID. So now she states, yes, me and my kids got it. We think we got it while we were still there. Just didn't know until we got back. It didn't have any symptoms till we got back. But she was already around people. So she did not quarantine from the way that it sounds. On a recent episode of her podcast with V, they were talking about them having COVID. And her and V called themselves the COVID Queens. That was actually what that episode of the podcast was titled. It was actually called COVID Queens. And in the podcast, they were kind of making light of it. They were joking around. I think it was V, the one that said it. She kind of laughed and said that they were the COVID Queens. Now, obviously, they have gotten so much backlash over this. And I have to be honest, you guys, I'm not lying. I'm not a Karen. I don't get offended by things easily. But when I heard this, I was just like, are they laughing and joking and calling themselves COVID Queens? Like, oh no. And I don't know. I could be wrong here. You guys leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. But we have family members that passed away from COVID. So I think maybe that's why it's bothersome, because they're just kind of laughing it off. And they're like, haha, COVID Queen. It would be like calling yourself a cancer queen. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to do that. You're not going to be like, oh, I'm the cancer queen. I'm the diabetic queen. Like, no. Those are illnesses, diseases, viruses, and things that we take serious, because those things kill people, unfortunately. So just as I was kind of taken aback, so was some of the listeners. And they showed their anger and upsetness through leaving 1-star reviews and leaving their comments on the podcast. So it says here, in response to the criticism and negative reviews that Kail and V were racking up, they decided to address the issue on the most recent episode of their podcast, apologizing to anyone that they have offended. Kail said, "We are incredibly sorry for last week's episode. We definitely didn't mean to offend anybody. I think we were just trying to make light of what we personally were going through, because what is the saying? You have to laugh so that you don't cry. We obviously know that so many people have been affected by COVID, and it was never our intention to offend anyone." I get that, which is why I'm not like mad at them about it. I think I was just like, myself, when I heard it, I was just like, oh my goodness, I don't think they realize what they just stated. Like, how this can be offensive to people that have lost loved ones, that have lost family members. I don't think they're really processing that. V added that she and Kail never intended to downplay the severity of COVID. During the original episode, Kail and V revealed that they were both recovering from COVID. which Kail said she believed that she brought home following a trip to the Dominican Republic with her kids. The two also talked about their various symptoms on the podcast, with Kail revealing that all 4 of her children had tested positive for COVID-19, as well as her ex-husband, Javi. Now, during the episode, Kail and V also discussed recent and upcoming travel plans, which did not go over very well with many of their listeners either, many of whom have criticized the two for their tasteless behavior. So here are some of the reviews that were left. So 1 star, brats. These 2 girls are so privileged to live in a country where they have access to health care. My brother died of COVID alone in a hospital where he couldn't be taken care of. This is a slap in the face to anyone who has lost a loved one due to COVID. I agree. I don't think it was done intentionally, but I agree there, you guys. Another 1 star, disgusting. I'm all for medical choice, and I get that Kail is anti-vaccines, but going on your podcast and giggling about all the places you've traveled to while COVID is happening is just so tasteless. These girls went too far and lost me as a loyal listener. Another 1 star, COVID isn't a joke. I cannot believe 2 fully grown adult women laughed for an hour about having COVID. 1, multiple times, and spreading it. It isn't a joke, and while you may have gotten lucky and only had a cold, many others have died and have lifelong complications because of it. Shame on both of you and anyone who supports this behavior. I have to say, I completely agree why people are upset. I do agree with that. Another 1 star, nice thing to joke about. What a privilege to be joking about COVID. Another 1 star, garbage. Lucky you have the fortune of not dying from COVID so that now that you can make jokes. Pathetic. Another 1 star, disgusting. It's not funny to call yourself COVID queens. How insensitive and gross. Yeah. Now, clearly the two, they obviously recognize the backlash, and I think it hit them at that point exactly what happened and what they done to other people and how it could be offensive to other people. I genuinely just think they were not processing what they were doing. Like, they had COVID. They were lucky that they didn't end up in the hospital, and even more so lucky that they did not pass away due to it, But I think they just thought, we have it. We kind of got it because of this stupid situation where I traveled and then I didn't quarantine and I was around people and I've kind of spread it around. And so I do think they were trying to make light of it, but I just don't think they were actually thinking through that this has killed a lot of people. Almost everyone that I know has lost someone due to COVID. So they did apologize for their remarks. They apologized for the COVID Queens comment. They apologized for the title and everything. V also explained why she and Kail were laughing about their COVID situation. She said, this is just a place where we come and we take a break, We all come here and we laugh. We kind of take a break from the world for an hour and we chat as girlfriends, and that's all it is. And while I understand that, that's what I use my channel for as well. I do live streams where I just kind of hang out with you guys in the chat, and we talk about anything and everything. One thing that you really have to be aware of is that while you assume everyone that is listening is just going to agree with everything and like everything that you have to say, this is the internet. So it's not always going to be that easy. There will be people that almost everything that you say, there will be someone that disagrees with it, especially when you talk about COVID. So V went on to say, but if you were offended or anything, we're deeply sorry. Our hearts go out to all of you. And if you guys are going through anything, and if your lives have been affected by the pandemic, we're truly sorry. We're also thankful for each and every one of you. I have to say, Kail's apology, I was good with that one. I'm okay with V's, but the very beginning of that apology, if you were offended or anything, we're deeply sorry. No, girl, just be sorry. If you were offended, just I'm sorry because I shouldn't have said it. I should not be joking about being a COVID queen while your mom laid in a hospital bed for 2 weeks suffering from it alone by herself, scared, and then passed away. Or while your grandpa was in the hospital for 2 months while his family had to go through the holidays, not having him there, and then right after the holidays, he passed away. I'm sorry if your child passed away. Like, no. It's not if you were offended or anything. It's just, I'm sorry. It was a stupid mistake. We should not have joked about that. Like I said, I want to reiterate that I don't think they understood the gravity of what they were joking about when they made those comments. But I think they kind of understand it now, but I do still kind of disagree with the way that V apologized. You guys leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. If you guys listen to the podcast and you heard them laughing and joking and calling themselves the COVID queens, were you offended by it? And if you didn't listen to it, but you're just hearing me talk about it and knowing that they were laughing and joking about being COVID queens, do you guys find it offensive? If not, let me know in the comment section below. Because I am kind of curious. Is it more so like because I've lost someone that I love that I'm offended by it? Maybe they haven't lost anyone that they love, and maybe that's why they didn't take it so seriously. I don't know. So you guys leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. If this offended you and you thought that it was something very stupid to say on their part, I want to hear your thoughts about that in the comment section below. Or if you're just like, it really didn't offend me, I'm really not offended by it, I also want to hear from you. So let me know. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. If you are not subscribed to my channel, please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button down below. I'm trying to get to 40,000 subs in like a week. I'm going to see if I can do it in a week. Probably not, but we're going to try to get there. So do me a favor, hit the subscribe button down below. Also, check me out on my other social media accounts. I have a TikTok, I have an Instagram, and I have a Twitter. So go follow me there. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye, everyone.